here. Oh, there we go. What's up, YouTubers? Posted a new video if y'all haven't seen about the VIX. The VIX played a crucial part into how I traded on Friday, and I wanted to make everyone aware of it, of kind of what I was thinking, how I exited, how to enter, and everything in between. So if you got any questions about that video, let me know. It seems to be well received so far. Anyway, S1 right now looks like is where we are going to open. I have got, right, make sure I've got my SPX, not futures up here. I did take one futures trade last night. It was about 20% profit, nothing crazy, but a good way to start the week off regardless. Alrighty. And all right, so we've got about 10 seconds till the market's open here. 449.42. I will be looking on an SPX 45.20 and then 44.80 puts. If you're looking at SPY, I will be doing 447s and 451s. Big green candle out of the gate to start the day off. SPY is right here on top. 449.58. And across the board, everything is green for the most part. Tesla's down now. Green candle shaking out. Down right on S1. All right. Let's watch this thing shake out just a touch. All right, so my process this morning is going to be conservative. I'm going to be watching things shake out here and playing either a bounce or rejection, or just kind of seeing how the price action wants to shake. Y'all know that I don't like to make a prediction too quick in the day or the week. I like to kind of let the tone of the week be set before I start really throwing down some positions, especially if I'm playing spreads, which I will be doing more of this week. I feel like it's not quite as volatile as it was 2 weeks ago. I think it's time to start loading some more spreads. I took some last week. Not quite as aggressive as I have been the past few weeks, but that's going to ramp back up this week. Choppy pre-market, I think, will open green and sell off. Yep, I do. That's what's happening. Oh, nice, Ross. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked it. And a little bottom wick here on that red candle. A little bit of indecision coming in here. Let's take a look at the VIX down here, 2373, as it's bouncing off of a historical pivot right there. If you look on this line, you see we got some consolidation here, there, and then last week we consolidated around this line. So we'll see how we react here. Nice red candle on the SPY forming, not quite as red as, so the Nasdaq's not quite as red. In fact, the Nasdaq's got a green while SPY's got red. That leads me to look at the financial sector. What's going on with them? There's a nice little red after opening up with a green on XLF. What are the bonds doing? Bonds are green candle, but pretty much flat after being a little down in pre-market. And then the rates. I noticed they were up above 1.93 again this morning. So, yeah. I'm going to look into start getting some premiums. Excuse me. I'm going to look into some premiums here to see if I can throw down some spreads, or at least formulate my plan on spreads to see how far I need to go out to get some decent premium. Right now, I can get about $1.40 for some 45.60s, and below us, I can go way down. So the prices of premiums on puts are a lot higher than calls. Now, what does that tell you? The deltas on these things are, all right, so let's say we are currently at 45.05, so let's go down to 45.55, or sorry, 44.55, and they are currently got a delta of 0.16. Let's go the same above. Let's go 45.55, and they've got a delta of 0.10. So probabilities, the options is pricing in a downward move in terms of probabilities and math. So we'll see how that works out. And there's some red candles right out of the gate. Through S1 coming down to S2. Now look, S2 congregated was the biggest point of contention in post-market last week, and now we are coming down towards it. Let's see how we react. Now look at the interesting action here. Well, nope, never mind. Take that back. That was something different. There's the Nasdaq finally coming along with the same action here. Red candles with SPY, and we're going to come down once again. Reject 4,500 for like the fifth time in the past few hours. There was so much open interest in data around the upper resistance. I didn't pick a strong one. I will try to pick one out here soon, but yeah, I would anticipate the same levels from what I'm seeing on the S levels being strong, but I'll dial it in here. But any buys yet? Nope, not yet, not yet. I'll be looking to see how this first candle come out. All right, looking here. Man, nice healthy red candles. Nice healthy red candles. All right, there's a bottom wick bounce off the Nasdaq and the SPY. I was starting to look at a 44.15 PCS there. It's moving around a lot, man. It just went from like $1 to 70 cents. So if you can get one down there, you can grab into something there. Just bear with me while I'm setting up positions. 45 there. Hammer green here on the Nasdaq. Alrighty, alrighty. So, one little more indecision here. That red candle bottom wick like crazy, and now back up to S1. Still not completely sold on where we're going to go. That's why I'm sitting on my hands. All right, Nasdaq looking very green here, and SPY is coming on here. XLF, let's take a look around. Very red candles on XLF and XLY. Let's take a look there, slightly up, and got some still red on SPY there. Let's take a look at the big dogs. Apple was looking green, it got smashed. Microsoft is pretty much flat. Amazon looking green, they're up 41 points, 1.31%. Tesla is flat, but we know how Tesla does. They don't usually stay flat very long. They're usually up big or down big. Facebook down again, down to $236. Love to see it. Love to see it. Alrighty. Decent little green candle here on the Nasdaq. There's SPY. Yes, that is a typo. I did not put R4 100 points above R5. So yeah, let me come down here and adjust that. Bam. There you go. Fixed. All right, some nice green here. Where's it going to go? That's the question. That's the question. I was looking at some PCSs here. I am watching them. The premiums are going down so fast. It's hard to even think about getting into position here. But now that we've got some up here, I'm going to bring up calls because it looks like we are going to start doing a little raging. Now we're up through S1. Nasdaq looking very bullish. Look at the VIX. Big red action here on the VIX coming through first level. And down we go. Looking at 4520 calls right now, but we got to get through this 4,500 level before we can really start thinking about some big upwards mobility. Look at that wick. Big wick on that candle. Yep, that is a spread. Yep. When you sell when you're doing a when you sell a put that's closer to the money, and you buy a put that's further away from the money, that's called a credit spread. Caller, you can do callers puts. How do I calculate these support and resistance levels? I've got 2 different videos on that exact thing. I highly encourage you to dig in. By the way, red candle. Look at that, smashed in the face. Indecisiveness so far. Indecisiveness. Love to see it. All right, man, look at that big upward action on the Nasdaq. Holy smokes! And now we going. And now we going. Nasdaq is going. I'm going to try to scalp a call right here. I'm looking at 40. Let's see here what I got. Looking at 45.20s. Nice healthy greens here. Needs a break up above here though for me to want to take these. Man, these candles are shaking out quickly though. They are volatile candles. Volatile candles. You got to stay on your P's and Q's. Big red candles again. Man, look at that. Yeah, I'm not touching this. These are shaking out. These are shaking out. There's plenty of action to be had. Let this thing shake out, do its thing, and then we'll go forth and conquer. Look at these candles. Crazy. No, I'm telling you, 4,500 is considerable. This little 4,500 range is very considerable. We have to watch this level. Big red candles there. Look at that. Big red candles. Right back inside, right back down to S1, right where we opened. So we had a little downside, we had a little upside, now some red, and pretty much flat on the day. Pretty much flat on the day. Dealing with yet another E-Trade issue this morning. I'm sorry if I'm a little slow this morning, but man, I am. My opinion of E-Trade has gone down in the dump the past few weeks. I'm tired of dealing with it. I can't wait to get over to Ibkr. I revoke my recommendation on E-Trade. I hate it. All right. Anyway, we're stuck on S1 here with a little green candle. Yeah, do not use if you are looking to do E-Trade, do not use E-Trade. Go with another broker. Go with Ibkr. Like that from what I've been using and the things that I've built with Ibkr, they're fantastic. So do not go with E-Trade. They're absolutely done. I told them if this happens again, I was going to destroy them publicly, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So do not use E-Trade. Go with Ibkr. This is absolute Bush League stuff. Anyway, 449.48, and they're up here to S1 again. A little price action here. So let's see if we can. That's what I'm looking for. I want to see them take out S1 and go up through R1, and then start testing the upper bounds of these levels here. Right now, I don't necessarily see a lot of strength to go through there. I see a lot of wicks and a lot of top smashes here with the sellers taking this out. Yep, I'm going to be doing a video on Ibkr. I've actually really fell in love with Ibkr this past weekend. I've been using them for a couple of weeks now, months now, just testing it out, but I really fell in love with them this weekend. So I really want to show you all the things I've learned, a couple of neat tips and tricks, and really the overall customization abilities of that. Hold on, I got to take All right, so still hovering around S1. Now I'm going to start looking at some here in a few minutes, about 10 minutes here. I'm going to be looking at spreads for the week and entering some spreads for the day here as well, our iron condors for Friday. There's some nice healthy red action. All right, well, let me see here. I got to post some stuff. So this is the issue. Just bear with me. All right, so here's the issue. I just took a large spread on some 0DT positions here, and I went to go hedge positions, and it won't even let me execute any positions other than this one spread. And like obviously my buying power is well above what I need. So I've talked. This is like the third or fourth time it's happened, and I keep calling them and say, "Hey, here's the deal," and they say, "You don't have enough buying power to do all this stuff." And I'm like, "Well, I do." And I send them screenshots. I've got plenty of buying power. I've got plenty of cash. I've got all this stuff, and they just don't give. They just keep giving me the same answer, and now it's happening again. So basically, it's just I'm done with it. I'm done with it. So yeah, I will be. Yeah. Yeah, I looked at those, Kevin. I looked at those. Anyway, I won't talk about it too much anymore. Yeah, so I'm doing these 0DT scalps on that red action there because of the way this thing is acting here. But that's the only position I can manage at the moment because of what's going on. But yeah. I've never had an issue with them in trading other stuff, but with the spreads, they're terrible. All right, so VIX finally broke down through 2316 here, and we've got the Nasdaq 14792, and then the SPY is back up. Let's take a look at SPX. Let's take a look at their price action here as they are now testing still this 4510. And I'm about to take in some calls. Looking at 4520s right now. All right, so we've got this green candle finally. We've got, what, about 10 minutes until the morning rain to set, and you've got, right now, you've got the VIX coming right back down to that pivot that we were talking about this morning. No. I save my positions for my subscribers, but you'll know when I'm in a position. You just won't know the details of it unless you're a Patreon subscriber. Got a little green action here. You've got the Nasdaq here, 14793, and you've got SPY now, is right up just under R1. We rejected right here again. right now, and we did that earlier this morning in pre-market as well. So this 450.21 level is proving to be a bear, which is just over the 4,500, 4,515 on the SPX. If you look here at the futures, I'm going to zoom out, switch to the futures. This level right here, we've rejected several times already. Back earlier this morning, we consolidated on Friday, and then we rejected now, and then earlier. So still a key level that we need to focus on. As the volume is continually to drop here, we'll see how the buyers react with this little red candle. What's up, Jonathan? How you doing? Took a 0DT 445 put, but got trail stopped on a huge wick back up. Didn't work out, but with tiny profit. Nice, nice. All right, there we go. Permissions. We got a couple of minutes here until the morning range is set. We've got the VIX down here, and we're looking around here. I see a lot of top wicks. Definitely, we had this nice bullish candle that brought us up just above where our prior highs were, and we rejected clean off R1. Clean off R1. Today, I'm looking at both the 7th and the 9th contracts. And depending on the price action here, I'll try to jump in and out both. If I see something that's a little riskier, I'll take the 9s. If I see something that, hey, I could get some decent money, I'll take the 7th if I have a high confidence play, but we'll see. We'll see. And there's some red. There's some red. Definitely love to see it. I'm trying to hide my frustration. I'm not gonna lie. I want to punch my screen right in the face. All right. Anyway, there's some red right off of R1. Why am I a coward for calls when it comes to puts? I'm more confident. Oh man, because it's we actually talked about this. It's a great comment. It's a great question. Because we as humans, we want to be right. We want to have that. It's hard for us to think, hey, SPY or whatever it is up however many percentage points. It can't keep going up, right? You're naturally a contrarian as a human. Like you want to be the opposite. You want to be the right when everybody else is wrong. It's an emotional thing. Puts are definitely harder to play because the market always goes up, and even on bearish sentiment, bearish times in the market still has a tendency to want to bounce and go back up before it continues to fall. So you have to remove the human element out of it and know just when to play puts. All right, I have a call credit spread. I took it off the table right there at $1.05 because I'm having issues with E-Trade, and I'm about to switch over to Ibkr. I'm not saying you should do that. I just closed all my positions here because I'm done with that, and I'm going to go over to my Ibkr account here because E-Trade's pissed me off. I don't necessarily think we'll get to 45.60 today. I'm closing it purely because I don't want to risk having to manage positions on this stupid account. All right, there we go. All right, we got a little green here under R1. Can you make a video on how to trade options in Ibkr? Yes. All right, now I've got the Ibkr up here, so now we can finally try to make some trades. Let's see if I can get my bearings back. All right, so Nasdaq giving some back here on the red, rejection off of R1 coming down, and that's something you need to think about because brokerage issues do happen. It is part of the game. It doesn't happen often, but yeah, you got to plan on that stuff. I mean, what happens if I took that call credit spread, I can't get out of it, and then the freaking market decides to rally up to 45.70? You know, it's that type of thing. It happens at the most inopportune times, and it's not fun. Not fun. All right, so VIX is down at this key level here. I'll be looking for a movement on the VIX. If it starts to come off here, we could have a rally up. If we bounce, then we're going to have a little downside. A little bit of indecision regardless. And we've got a little red candle down here on S1. I'm going to wait for the first big movement to start placing some spreads, additional spreads here. If we come up there, I'll take one up here, maybe upper 4,500s, like lower 4,600s. And then throw in some lower out PCS as well so we can get that quick decay. But in terms of Friday, I'm pretty close here. In the next 5-10 minutes, I'll start looking at my first tranche for Friday. And there's some red candles. All the European markets are up at least 0.5%. They're hovering right about half, 0.62, 0.71. So the Asian markets closed just barely red, except China. China market closed way up, and then the UK markets are right now just barely green, barely green. Hey, because springtime is coming up, we elected to slash the prices on our hoodies. So if you want to pick up an OM hoodie, head over to the website, theoptionsmillionaire.com, and grab you one of them. We cut them down pretty much as low as I can to flush them out flush out the winter inventory. So a couple of them left. Grab them if you want them, and then we'll design another one next fall. So if y'all like that one, super soft material, we love it. It's one of my favorite hoodies to wear. There's some red. Still not a lot going on here, just under S1. VIX is trying to get a bounce off of it here, but still nothing yet. We still have this interaction between R1 and S1. So there's a lot of red on my watch list here. A lot of the top 10 are red. XLP is red. Let's take a monitor XLF. They had a little rebound here. They're still green on the day, though, although even after this little red action. They're still climbing. The bonds here are falling off, as well as the rates are up here, 1.933 again. So the rates have popped back up over 1.93. And I think that's new highs. Nope, not quite there yet. Not that where so we did hit 1.936. There's a green candle off of S1. Yep, I did release the hats. I actually love that hat. I wear that hat all the time myself. All right, so we have a strong bullish candle off of S1 to R1 and, instantly smacked. All right, let's start taking. There's your 10:05 time frame. So how does the market adjust right here at the 10:05? Let's start looking at the weekend, or I'm sorry, Friday. All right, little red off of R1 again. Let's watch out for this time frame. Cannot bust over R1, which is that R1 level is at 450.36, which is, if you notate, if you look at Friday's numbers, Friday was the R5 was the other one that we rejected. It's still holding true today. So R5 was I notated as significant, and today still holding and rejecting down, subjecting down. Yes, Jacob. I post my SR levels in the OM analysis channel for my Patreoners in the Discord. So if you want to sign up, head down to the Patreon link in the description of this live stream and follow that link. And all the tiers, tier 1 through 4, all of them get access to the ranges as well as my commentary throughout the day and my analysis. So you can post them there. Come over if you have any questions. You can always shoot me a DM or post in any of the applicable rooms. So come over and take a look. Join. We have a lot of fun. You're welcome, Jacob. You're welcome. All right, there's some red. There is some red. Kind of a boring day. Today looks like it's going to be a spread day unless we start breaking out one way or the other. I'm new to trading in your live feeds. What's the significance of the 10:05 time frame? The time frame around 10:05 is usually where we see some sort of movement. It's formed based off the higher lows in the morning, and we trade off of it. So right here at 10:05, I do expect some sort of movement. My guess is downside, based on what I'm seeing here with a little consolidation of the VIX and the bounce of the VIX, and we cannot get through that R1 level. So that's what I'm looking for, the breakdown here of R1, which is our first green line, and then the constant rejection. And now look, we've got some red action, and we're going to fall a little here. How do you choose between trading spreads or naked calls puts for the day? Well, naked calls, I'm looking at, when I hear naked calls, I'm thinking call writing. So, if I'm either trading spreads or I'm trading longs or I'm doing both. Hey, nice red candles. Let's see if we could take some action here. Look at that. Look at that. There's some nice red. And down we go. And down we go. Looks like we might test the bottom of the AM range, which is fine by me. I don't know what's going on here. I just had some weird notifications come up on E-Trade. I don't know what's going on with E-Trade, but anyway. So we've got, all right, look at the Nasdaq. Looking a little more bearish here. XLF definitely chopping in the range here. Looking nice and bearish as we're coming on down. There is SPY up top and the Nasdaq here. I'll be looking for some interaction around the bottom of this range and pumping in some PCSs for the day and for the week. Yeah, I've never had. I don't want to talk about it anymore. That's whatever. I beat that dead horse into the ground. Watched your video last night implementing your VIX. VIX flat at the bottom. Nice, JJ. Love it. Well done. I love the implementation. On Friday, you said your spread should never get your max loss. Then you got distracted by a squirrel. Could you elaborate on when you exit? I do. I squirrel a lot like that. So yeah. Oh man. Well, here's what I mean. If you are trading spreads, I am going to assume you know what you're doing, at least enough to understand the consequences behind a losing spread. If you have any kind of trading prowess, then you can be able to defend the position. I know everyone says you're risking $25,000 to make 700. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? And that's not. That's a little like. That's not quite the whole picture. Although, yes, if you let that position go to max loss, you will face that $25,000 loss. But you also are managing that position actively. You're hedging. You're going to exit that position before it gets there. All sorts of different things to where that you're going to ratio in and out of the position. So there's other ways to manage a position for you to never get to max loss. Max loss is Armageddon. It's worst case scenario, scorched earth. You come in and napalm the whole thing, and you get max loss. And you know that I've never even come to that point, and I don't think you should either. If you do let a position go to max loss, then you should not be trading spreads because you either are too emotional or you don't understand the concept of defense. Because half the strategy of playing spreads is position defense. It's not just entering and exiting or letting the thing go worthless. It's defending the position, and you're always going to have some level of defense. And sometimes the best defense is exiting the position, is just closing the position. I know everybody wants to talk about hedging, and because hedging sounds fancy, and I know what I'm doing. I'm going to hedge this position with futures, and it sounds great and fancy. But sometimes the best way to manage a position is just to close it. Is a Patreon more for learning, or do you give play? I focus on learning. I do give plays. However, I want my Discord to be around, or our Discord, I'm sorry, around learning about education, and that's kind of what I've built the community around. I'm a student at the moment, don't always have the time to implement my own strategy. I was wondering if you could just tell your... Yeah, for sure. Yes, our. All right, SPY still looking red here, 448.61. Currently looking at 45.10 calls and 44.90 puts right here. I'll be seeing what happens. Is the market harder to predict now than last year? Man, in terms of predict, I mean, 2021, it's weird because it wasn't even easy to predict. It was just expectations. Everyone, the market was so euphorically bullish. It was literally just buy calls and just wait and, just cash them out. I don't think anybody predicted the market would just continue to blast up and up and up. It's just the way things were rolling here. So, and now, the whole reason why it's making it even harder now is because it's bringing a lot more sellers action that we're not used to. The past 2 years we have not had any kind whatsoever of sustained selling action. And here we are just getting blasted 4,500, 4,200, 4,550, 4,400, all over the place. And that's what we're now dealing with. All right, now we're holding just here, S1. Not a lot of movement. Got some green. Got some green. All right, on Ibkr here, I just entered another spread on, I will post them in the OM Theta play, a PCS. All right. Posted. Posted. All right, doctor. It all depends on when you got your put. There's a couple of different circumstances on what could be going on there. Are you buying puts at supports? Are you FOMOing positions after seeing some red? You want to jump in a put? There's a couple of differences going on there. We need to dial down before I can really give you a proper answer. Would you mind showing how you drew your support line on the VIX? Absolutely. All right, so what I'm looking for now, you have to take the VIX supports here at a grain of salt because there is no volume on the VIX. However, I like to notate historical pivots on the VIX, which I can kind of anticipate price movement. So just a little disclaimer there. So what I'm looking for here is historical points. So we obviously bounced here today, and then on Friday we had consolidation period here, and a little bit above there, and then the day before, we had some more consolidation here, here, and around there. So you can go back even further if you want when it came back down, but that's a little too far. So that's all I do is I create a historical point. Now this one's not all that can be that strong because we just had consolidation points. We didn't have a reversal point off of here. So I want to look for a strong one. This one would be strong because there's a key level where the VIX, the volatility in the market shifted at this 22 level. It didn't give up the 20s. I was thinking if we can continue to have it on this downside, the VIX would give up 20s going to the 19s and we'd rally up above 45.50. That's not what happened. We bounced here. So this will be the next target. If we continue to fall, that'll be the next target, that 22, which will send SPY up above 450 into the mid 450s, 451, 452. Yep, I took a theta play. That was it. I haven't taken a long play right now. But I am about to, though. I'm about to. Theta play is posted in the tier 2 room. Now I'm looking for calls. If we do break out above, which I need to see some strong action because I don't see it yet. With a 4,500 as strong as it is, and yes, we want to be aware of it. With the 4,500 as strong as it is, if we break above it with some significant with some behavior that's looks like it's going to rally, which is strong buying volume, with the commensurate price action, with the VIX falling off, with the tech finally supporting, with XLF starting to bounce. You start to see all that, then we'll start looking calls because if we do break 4,500, we'll kind of have this look. It'll break, it'll consolidate, it'll break, and then we'll finally rally above. And that's where I want to take my calls at. And there's a big old green candle. I love it. Great for the PCSs. Do you watch the decreases in the volume? Yes, I do, Moonlight. Yes, I do. Yep, VIX did test new lows here. Let's see if it could separate and not reverse and go back up here. Like I said, it's going to need a lot of buying volume, a little oomph to get up above R1. We've been rejecting it all freaking morning long. In the futures, all night long. All night long. Sorry. Mass cancellations. We need an OM album. We need to get, as I see Justin pops up, I always think of Halo. We need to get a good Halo going or a Fortnite game going with everybody. Like an OM community game going. Or some Warzone. That'd be sweet. Never played Rocket League. PUBG? Yeah, I got some PUBG. I don't get to play a lot often, but if I get to play with y'all, I would definitely play some more. All right, top wick on this green candles. OM Game League? That'd be awesome. I need a gaming tab. Yeah, I did. I actually did have a gaming tab, but I reduced it down just to a hobbies tab. So if you go down to the bottom of the channels on the Discord, you'll see a food item, you'll see fitness, and you'll see hobbies. And hobbies is kind of grouped in there. And people talk gaming. People talk gaming. I made some birria tacos. I think that's how you say it this weekend. Fantastic, fantastic. One of my favorite things to make. I don't have the roll of the tongue like our Spanish counterparts. Although my grandmother is from Puerto Rico, so I should. I should. Do you give out Nasdaq resistance support levels? If so, where can I find? I do not. That's something I should probably do, and we'll look forward to doing in the future. But right now, I'm only doing SPY and SPX. But I do want to do that. It's birria tacos. Birria tacos. Birria. It's those tacos that are it's dipped in like the red consomme, the red sauce, and it's got like onions and cilantro. Fantastic. It's fantastic. Try it. All right. So the name of the game today is I've got a PCS cooking. I don't see a lot of conviction to play some long plays at the moment. I will, and I'll be looking for it. So at the moment, I will be looking at playing a call credit spread high up. I'm talking way high, if I can get decent credit for it, or just tranching in some PCSs. I've got two different strategies for spreads. I've got my dailies, which is zeros, and I want my Friday tranches. I want to start building it for Friday tranche. And I'll be looking at doing that probably in the next half hour. I don't see any long put opportunities right now. Not yet. Not yet. I mean, you could play a speculation play that we go back down, which we very well could reject and go back down, but I need some confirmation. I did take a speculation play on Friday, but I had a great deal of data that was giving me a high probability that the put was going down. So speculation doesn't mean gamble. It just means take the high probability play. Probabilities insinuate that there's still a probability of loss. So you have to take the high probable play. Nothing's 100%, but you definitely want to get it to close as 100 as you can. Yes, Joel, I plan to do levels with the futures as well. Cow. I used what was it? Chuck roast. Chuck roast. Hey, there's some green above R1. Yeah, buddy. And that right there is why I elected to cancel or to close out my call credit spread on E-Trade, because I was not able to manage the position. And if this was to keep on going, I would be sit there with my thumb in my mouth watching this go against me. So was not worth the risk. Close that baby. Nice healthy green. Now I'm looking at some calls. I got 45.30s up, ready to go, called February 7th. And now I'm going to start tranching in some call credit spreads here in another few minutes. I've got 860, 870. I've got the VIX finally breaking down. I've got R1 coming up through there, broken with the Nasdaq. What's XLF doing? That's my last line in the sand. XLF looks very, very bullish. I think it might be time to take some colaronis. 46.60 was quite safe. Yes, I do think they were safe. Yeah, for sure. However, it could rally. If it does rally up to 460, I don't want I didn't have the ability to manage. So that for me, that's way. I don't care if it was 46.20. Like it was. No, they're 45.60s. I'm sorry. I do think the 45.60s would be safe. But still, I mean, I don't want to have a position I can't manage. It's just not worth it. There's no situation where I'd want to let that go with me unable to manage a position. So I'd rather just take the comfort of closing the position. Of course, I'm a big chicken. You all know me. I'm a big chicken. I don't like to take a lot of risk. I like slow and steady wins the race. I noticed that your VIX is not delayed. What ticker are you using on the bottom? Great question. So, type in VIX right here. And then look at the TVC VIX. See it says TVC right there? Right there is where you want it. You don't want CBOE. That's going to be delayed. You want TVC. So make sure you're clicking on TVC right there. And you'll be good to go. It won't be delayed. Nope, I got my SNR levels right here. Right here. Make sure you got them toggled on. Stopped out of my put right there. Didn't expect that off this volume. Not a terrible play, and you put a stop on. I don't mind. I don't care about losses as long as you're taking losses smartly, in a smart manner. Ain't nothing wrong with some speculation losses as long as you're managed properly. Weekly PCS is already at 40% now. There you go, buddy. There you go. All right, speaking of which, that reminds me. How likely are you to recommend Microsoft Edge to a friend or colleague? Leave me alone. All right. Friday, February 11th. Let's take a look at all right. There is the first Friday play right there. Posted. Red candle's off of R1 again. Can't break up above it. That's why I'm waiting for the confirmation candle. All right, I'm gonna come on mute here for about a minute or so. I'll be right back. Are you kidding me with this? Are you kidding me with this? Every time, every time. Protein shake 30. That's all that is. All right, big red candle right down to S1. Can I get another protein shake? Unbelievable. The biggest candle of the day. Right when I step away for 2 minutes to go grab a protein shake. Ridiculous. Well, if you're holding any puts, you're welcome. You're welcome. Good, Tristan. That's right, sample stuff. Great observation. I love it. All right, so right back down to S1 and then no movement here. So I need the confirmation of the follow through. We bounced off of the VWAP and the S1. I would need these sellers to really confirm that we're going to blast through that before I start looking for downside positions. What's the best time frame for volume profile indicator? Well, it depends on what really your strategy. You want to adjust that for your time frame that you're looking to trade. If you want to scalp, 1 minute, 3 minute. I don't use the 1 minute, but some people do. If you're looking for swing trades, I would go anywhere from the 5 up to the 4-hour chart, the weekly chart. If you're looking for pattern plays, then obviously you want to be going for the 3-month to the year chart. Now, I use all of those to some degree, but I focus on the 3-minute when I'm looking for an entry. If you want to do pattern trading, you want to be focusing on the 3-month, the quarterly, and the yearly chart. What's your thoughts on Peloton potentially being bought out? Oh, man. I do think they're bullish. I think they were egregiously mismanaged on the past few years. I think they were kind of riding the COVID high. So I do think them being bought out will bring a bullish sentiment into them. Not to mention their price bottomed out at what, like $13 or something like that. So I do think that will be a bullish item there. Especially, I even heard Apple was trying to throw their hat into the ring. If Apple gets a hold of them, they'll go to they'll go back into 100, just because anything Apple touches turns to gold. I personally don't play earnings calls. Nvidia most likely will go up, but I personally try not to play earnings calls. They're just a little bit of a gamble to me. There's too much human emotion wrapped up in it. You sell the news, buy the rumor, that kind of thing. Where do I post my SPY levels? I post them in the OM analysis channel under the Discord. Yeah, because you have to think. Apple's already dove in it has already dove into the fitness market. They got their Apple Watch. They've got fitness tracking apps and such. If they can get a Peloton, they can start putting their iPad or an iPad similar item on the Pelotons, and then they can start interaction with their phones. You could literally just walk up, place your phone, bam, connects. Or you could do Apple Watches where it connects with the Peloton. You can open up a whole realm of possibilities. So, not to mention, I would assume that Apple probably tried to bring the price point down. And man, I think it'd be a fantastic partnership. Fantastic partnership. Yes, Bractonic. That is the same thing. E-Trade does the same thing. They call them vertical spreads. Same thing. Oh, I have a Peloton. Use it daily. Nice. All right, so I'll give this 10 o'clock and I'll hop off here. We have a little colorful commentary this morning, but not too much movement. Today looks like a day that I'll just focus on spreads until we get a move one way or the other. I thought we might actually have a breakout there, but we rejected. And that is why I wait for confirmation. Yep, yep. Home gym equipment that you definitely got to use it. Yeah, I wish I had one in here, Chumerson. What do I consider confirmation? I consider price action, volume, VIX. I want to look at the X's. All those things tie together for confirmation. There's not one single thing that is only confirmation. So, market sentiment, all that stuff. Right now, we're a range. We're choppy. We did form new highs here. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We're now hovering right on VWAP. We broke out on volume and I took the biggest career loss. That's not good. What happened? You take the breakout play? Oh, and when you trebuchet into weekly spreads, yeah. So what I do is I take one of those trebuchets and I put the calls and the puts into the little basket and I pull the lever, flies it, throws it. And that's how I actually enter my position. So I sling it over to E-Trade headquarters. It's got a little piece of paper in there. It says, "Hey, please enter this position for me." It doesn't quite get there though when I'm trebucheting into the wind. Do I do sports betting? Negative. Negative. I don't think I've watched an entire sporting event in 5 years. I'm too busy. I'm a dad of three. I've got three kids. I've got a beautiful wife that I love spending time with. Um, I just can't imagine sitting there all day watching sports. I don't want to watch a lot of sports. I don't do any sports betting. Now I've got you all to spend a lot of time with. Oh yeah. All right. So here, the next event of the day, 10:30, 11:30 Eastern time, which is the close of the UK markets. Thanks for the reminder, Howard. So yeah, the UK market just hit highs. They're blasting through Friday's resistance levels, and there's a Swiss market coming up, and there's a German market coming up as well. So the European markets are starting to build in a little more green. They were about 0.5% up earlier today. Now they are a point, 1.01, 0.96, and zero point 0.9. So they are starting to rally into close. So look for us to have a little bit of bullish action here as we go on up. Love spending time with you too, Jonathan. Do I look at the 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, or SPY? I look at all of them, Harold. Look at all of them. All right, so yeah, I was having a little fun with your Kunai. So yeah, assuming you meant tranche. When you tranche into weekly spreads, there's always adding positions, removing some. I'm always adding. Now, I will remove positions if I either have a good enough profit or if I think they're in danger. But I'm usually just adding positions. When I refer to tranching, it's usually just adding positions. When do I start opening spreads? Most of the time, it's late morning. Daily spreads, I have to get them. There's a balance between getting them too early where you don't know them big move yet, or too late where you don't get enough credit. You got to balance the spread, the 0 DTE spreads. For my Friday tranches, I'm looking at entering late morning. That way, the morning move is kind of determine what's going on here. We kind of have the weekend news digested, and then I can get in. Yep, my kids do play sports. Yeah, I love it. I love watching them. So my daughter's a swimmer and gymnastics, and the boys are baseball, football, soccer, like the whole thing. So it's good stuff. They keep me busy. And I'm getting the oldest one into frisbee golf too. In addition, he's getting pretty good at throwing the frisbee, so he wants to try out frisbee golf. Do you think the UK markets could be going up to resistance and possible sell-off? Possible. They sold off Friday. I play that in college, but they have not played ultimate frisbee. Actually, I had a lot of fun playing frisbee golf or ultimate golf, frisbee, whatever it's called. All right, so we finally have some green coming off S1. A little bit of just shaking and baking, a little bit of chop action, not much. Sorry for dumb questions. There are no such thing as dumb questions. But when do you know when to open a position? Support levels, EMAs. Oh man. Well, the biggest thing I look for is the overall market awareness. I'm looking for the whole market. What's the market doing as a whole? The Nasdaq, tech, finance sector. What are the bonds doing? What are the rates doing? Then after that, I'm looking at the volume. How is the market responding to price action? Do we have a big buy on a big green candle, or do we have a moderate to low level of buying action, but we have a big level of price action? So it really depends on the particular movement. I want to look at, hey, Hilton Hotels is calling me for some reason. I want to look at the commensurate volume as well as the move around the whole market, the supportive move. If I want to take a breakout call here, I want to make sure everything is beast mowing up. So if I see another green, we come up and we test R1 here. My first eye will be the VIX. Second will be this volume, and then I'll start looking at, all right, Nasdaq is doing the same thing. What's the XLF sector doing? They're doing the same thing. What's YVKP? What are they doing? They're all doing the same thing. And that's kind of like a quick 20 to 30-second process. Enter the trade, and then let it go. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less confidence, sometimes more confidence. Friday, if you look at Friday's action on the VIX was very predictable on Friday. So I was trading pretty much blind. I was just trading based off the VIX, and it worked out beautifully. It doesn't always work out that way, but Friday it was beautiful. So do you need a big account to trade spreads? No. The more money you have, the easier it is to trade spreads because you could defend. You have a lot more buying power to trade spreads, but you can trade spreads under PDT. It's just more difficult. You are handcuffed by the PDT rules and buying power, but it is possible. It is possible. Paper trading to test credit spreads and straddles. Does this look correct? Let's take a look. February 450 straddle. That is a long straddle. That looks right. Let's see, 4,600, 4,700 call credit spread. That looks correct. And a 4,400, 4,350 call credit spread. That looks correct. And it all looks right. Yeah. OM, if you had a small account, let's say under 2K, and you wanted to begin trading options, what route would you take? I'm in to learn. I would not, with 2K, I don't even think you can trade spreads under 2K, but I would learn, but I would only focus on trading high quality setups. In fact, I'll be making a video of the top 10 things I've learned in a decade of trading. And I'm looking at it right now, and one of the items is learn to write premium, which is trade spreads. Because writing premium, which I wish I would have done years and years ago, has made me a far better trader. It's allowed you to understand price movement, how the Greeks work, how the premiums are priced, how the options chain works, how the VIX ties in, everything. How to manage credit, how to manage premium. So I highly encourage you, learn to write premium even if you don't plan on actively trading those types of positions. It'll make you a better trader. So, but yeah, don't trade spreads under 2K. I don't even think it's possible. And you definitely need a level 3 margin account too. Oh, you're welcome, Harold. Let me know if you got any questions. You can post them. Come over there and DM me, and we'll talk about some stuff if you need help. Sorry if you've already answered this, but when you trade futures, what criteria do you use to decide whether to trade contracts or options on futures? Oh, man. Sorry. All right, well, when I'm on E-Trade, obviously E-Trade doesn't allow SPX on 24/7. So you're talking about when I trade contracts on. All right, I see what you're saying now. All right, I just misread your question. Really, it's all about leverage. You know, I've traded both in the past. Right now, I'm trading options, so I could trade them with you all. But you can trade them both. You know, you can trade them both. I've got a bunch of requests to watch the Tier 3 channels. I'm approving those now. Just hang on, bear with me. Speaking of Allegiant, I just got an email from Allegiant saying, hey, you can fly out from our city for $39 per way. All right, so if you requested a Tier 3 viewing access, you should have it now. Let me know if you don't. Red candle again. Booyah. All right, well, that is about 10 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and call that a morning. It's a little choppy as I see a little red candle start to form here. But we're still on S1, so until we get a breakdown here. Now, here's the deal. If we break out of the ranges, I'll probably hop back on here because I do want to trade some action with you all. If we break out the top or the bottom of the range, expect to see me come back on Patreon stream. But we'll look at a play here in the afternoon. So let me know if you got any questions about anything you saw today or any kind of YouTube content. Go watch the video I just posted. Link is should be in the channel, the description of this channel to the educational series, head on over to the store, theoptionsmillionaire.com, and pick up those hoodies for some slashed prices coming up for the springtime. Link is also down here in the Patreon. If you want to come join that, come hang out with us. Pick which tier you want. Tier 4 is obviously the new hot item, and it's awesome, awesome content. I appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Let me know if you got questions. I'm out.